Welcome to Chapter 1, Lesson 2, Powers and Exponents. Our learning target or objective for this lesson is to use powers and exponents to write large and small numbers. Okay, we have a few vocabulary words for this lesson. Our first one is power. A product of repeated factors can be expressed using an exponent and a base. And the next one, base, the common factor. And our last one is exponent. Tell us how many times the base is used as a factor. Always, once again, you can maybe pause the video to write down the definitions and then continue when you are ready. Moving right along. You notice our objective is always at the top of each page in our video sheet. Use powers and exponents to write large and small numbers. Okay, now we're going to do some examples here. Write each expression using exponents. So we have -2, -2, -2 times 3, 3, 3, 3. So what we want to look at as our base. Our base is our repeated number. So our base on the first side is -2. And we're going to multiply that times our base over here, which is 3. And then our factor, the little number, is how many times the base shows up. So we have it 1, 2, 3. So to the factor of 3. Our base 3 here shows up 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 4 times. That's all you need to do. We're just writing an expression. We're not solving. So -2 to the third power times 3 to the fourth power. Now let's take a peek at the next one. A times B times B times A times B. Okay, first let's pick out our first base. Let's use the first number shows up, A. A shows up once, twice. So we have A, our base A, and it shows up twice to the second power. Times, we have B. B shows up once, twice, 3 times to the third power. And for our last example, we have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 5 times 5. And first base, we'll take the very first numbers are 4. And that shows up 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So 4 to the 4 times our next base, which is 5. And that shows up 1, 2. So 4 to the fourth times 5 to the second is our solution for there. Okay, once again, any questions, please go back and rewatch the video or write them down, bring them into class. And our last one, we have a couple more examples. We have -2 to the third, -2 thirds to the fourth power. So what that's telling us, we have -2 thirds times -2 thirds times -2 thirds, -2 thirds. We have 4 of them. And you know, on fractions, what do? You multiply the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. So we have -2 times -2 times -2 times -2, which gives us a positive 16. And then 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 gives us an 81. So 1681st is our answer there. And our last example, 4 to the fourth. All that does, the small number tells the big number how many times to multiply itself by. So 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So we're just going to take 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, and that is going to give us 256. And then our real-world example for this lesson. The deck of a skateboard has an area of about 2 to the 5th times 7 square inches. What is the area of the skateboard deck? Okay, let's just break that down into simpler terms. Let's look at 2 to the 5th. 2 to the 5th times 7. What's the 2 to the 5th tell us? 2 to the 5th tells us we're going to take our base and multiply it times itself 5 times. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and then we're going to multiply that all times 7. So first, if you want to break it down, 2 times 2, you can do it this way, 4. There's 4 there. And drop down our 2, drop down our 7. So now we have 4 times 4 times 2 times 7. And we can take our 4s. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 7. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 times 7. And then 32 times 7 is 224 inches squared. Remember to always label your final answer, because they're looking at square inches. Inches squared, same thing. Okay, any questions? Once again, please review the video, write down any problems you're having, bring them into class, as we will be going over many problems similar to these.